My name is Paul Angel, and I'm with Lineage Law. We are a statewide estate planning law firm headquartered in Baton Rouge. I'm from Carencro, Louisiana. I actually grew up in Lafayette, live outside of Lafayette and outside a town called Sunset today. This picture was taken of me almost 50 years ago in 1971. We were in Toledo Bend. There were rumors of a recently killed mastodon or woolly mammoth, and we wanted to scavenge meat before the pterodactyls picked it clean. I was 6 months old, my mom was 21, and my dad was 23. All three of us are significantly older now, and as of this week, we are all still alive. Let me touch on my current situation. My family. In 2016, when I first joined this chapter, this was the most recent picture of my kids. Jada, Jeffrey, Calvin, and Nicholas. Their rap names are J-Wolf, G-Spot, Snoopy, and N-Word. Here's a couple of years into the future. You might notice my wife and I, plus a few animals, joined the shot. I'm P-Dog, of course, and my wife is White Beyonce. Here's our Christmas card from this past December. My youngest Calvin has gone from being the shortest by a lot to being the tallest, and Nick's old lady Cat has joined the crew. Her being a country music fan, we've never discussed rap names. The best part of my life is my wife, Dawn. This woman is clearly way out of my league. I met her in my 40s, and my life, which was already upside down, flipped, is now right side up. Everything I do is motivated by how much I love this smile. Next month will be our 5th anniversary. Now, Churchill's quote about his most brilliant achievement is perfect for me. Our wedding was a very proud moment. All my kids were there. To this day, Jada still has problems with public displays of affection. We've even got a poster. This poster is framed and prominently hanging in our new barn. I actually got my wife a horse this year. And if you know me, you know I'm not a cowboy. I grew up in the city. But if you look closely, you can see that poster is in there. One line. As I mentioned, I'm with Lineage Law, and we do estate planning. Estate planning is about 3 things. It's who has control of your assets, who can benefit from your assets, and then when or how. The first basic question we need to answer is, what is an estate? It's your real estate, your money, your business interests, your four-wheeler, everything. It's basically your stuff. We all spend a lifetime accumulating stuff, and we all die. Most people think of their will, and that's fine because a will can be a big part of every estate plan, but does anyone really know what a will does? It only does one thing. And if you don't die, the will isn't yet applicable. So what if you're in a home, don't know your name, you have a brain injury, or you're on life support? It's likely someone needs to be managing your stuff, and a will can't do that. Trusts are much more useful. They're private. They let your estate skip the succession process. They say what happens to your stuff while you're alive, at your death, and even after you're gone, sometimes long time after you're gone. Good news is you don't need to know what you need. You only need to know what you want. I often, for fun, ask people in Louisiana if they have a will. I ask this because some people have put off writing their will. They think this means they don't have one, and they'd be wrong. Relax, though. Louisiana already cooked one up for you, and it sucks. It's bad for a lot of reasons, but the worst reasons are the concepts of naked ownership and usufruct. Usufructs and naked ownership exist in Louisiana law. A usufruct is a right by one person over the property of another. The person who owns the property is known as the naked owner. Usufructs often arise under Louisiana intestate law dealing with community property. And in a succession without a prepared will, half of the dead spouse's stuff goes to his or her children, split equally unless there's forced heirs. The other half goes to the spouse. The spouse has usufruct over the property, and this usually means, unless everyone is getting along perfectly, the family home can't be refinanced, improved, sold, or maintained. It becomes a big, big problem. For example, let's assume that the multimillionaire lawmaker from California, Nancy Pelosi, leaves her house to Bernie Sanders for life, with ownership passing to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after Sanders' death. In this ugly arrangement, Sanders would have use of the property even though it ultimately belongs to Cortez. Sanders' right would be a usufruct. Cortez would be the naked owner. This causes many problems and is such a problematic setup, it's crazy to think that this is the default. Just know that this picture right here is not what you want, in all likelihood. The state usually divides the estate equally between the children. That is something everyone needs to consider, especially if you have one of those families where one sibling seems to have already received a large portion of their inheritance. You've all seen this person or you know him. Another big concern is protecting your assets. There's real fear over predators, creditors, and unplanned taxes. Everyone always seems to forget, though, about the biggest one. The nursing home or any type of long-term care. These can eat up an estate quickly. The problem is we don't think about our health. We know we're alive and we know we're going to die, but that's all most of us want to think about. We can help with this. I'm going to make an assumption that if I ask everyone in the room about their children, most, if not all, of you would say that you love your children equally. They are all precious to you. I'm also going to assume that most, if not all of you, would say that your children are unique. They are different from each other. When you plan, you must take your children's personalities, good and bad, into consideration. For example, spendthrift, a wonderful child but can't keep 2 pennies together. Should this child receive a large cash infusion? Would a child lose his or her inheritance due to bankruptcy? Are your kids going to fight each other over what you have? The worst gift you can give to a child with a history of addiction is money. You might literally kill them. If you have a special needs child or adult who is receiving state benefits, disability, or Medicaid, they could lose the benefits as a result of inheriting just $10,000. They would have to spend down all of their inheritance before they could qualify for state benefits again. Other issues to think about are forced heirs, educational spending, and business interest. Sometimes it's our parents that have a more pressing need. Is it too late? The short answer is no. I think that this is important because we hear so many people say their parents are already in a nursing home. Okay, great. You could still plan. Example, we had a doctor client who privately paid for his wife's nursing home expenses for 4 years before coming to see us. He was still paying over $7,000 a month when he came in. He learned that had he planned with us, even in that crisis, we could have saved most of it. Had he planned before the crisis, he would have saved every single penny. Do the math. It's a lot of money. We will sit with anyone for free and listen to concerns, review documents, answer questions, and give legal advice. But when it's too late, we can't help you. Estate planning is important, and we are very good at it. Lineage law. You only die once.